My dear friends, believe me, I've worked extremely hard on this video, so please give me a like, subscribe and share. A special thank you to all of you for your help, support and encouragement. Truly thank you. Now let's watch the video and I hope you will find it helpful. Let's get started. The rules for the word stress. Definition. In words of two or more syllables, one syllable is stressed, meaning it is said louder, longer, and more forceful than the other syllables of the same word, which are said quickly and without emphasis. 2. Remember. 1. We stress only the vowels, meaning the vowel letters, namely A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. And vowel combinations like beautiful. We never stress the consonants. 2. The vowel sound of unstressed syllable is often reduced to schwa. 3. The stress falls on the strong vowel. The stress falls on the strong vowel and doesn't fall on the weak vowel. When stressing a word, we have to find out how to count the syllables, predict the stressed syllable. As for how to count the syllables, we can have two ways. The movement of the jaw. Once your jaw moves down, it carries a vowel sound. 2. By tapping your hand. Entertainment. As for how to predict the stressed syllable, we can predict the stressed syllable through 4 criteria. Identify the word class, meaning part of a speech. If the word a noun or verb. 2. Identifying the strong and the weak vowel. The strong syllable has a strong vowel, long vowel, diphthong, vowel plus 1 or more consonants. As for the weak syllable has a short vowel sound. 3. By identifying the suffixes affecting the stress. 4. By applying some specific rules. As for the identifying the suffixes affecting the stress, we have 3 types of suffixes affecting the stress placement, some of which are self-stressed suffixes. Suffixes carrying the primary stress themselves. 2. Stress or suffixes making us to stress on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate syllable, the second syllable from the end. 3. Some suffixes make us stress on the anti-penultimate syllable, the third from the end. Counting syllables. You can check how many syllables a word has by putting your hand under your chin. Putting your hand under your chin and saying a word slowly. This method is called a chin method. So you can put your hand under your chin and say the word slowly. Each time your chin moves to make a vowel sound, count syllables. For example, let's count the number of syllables in encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. So again, encyclopedia. So encyclopedia. The word encyclopedia moves your chin 6 times. Therefore, encyclopedia is composed of 6 syllables. So the first method is called a chin method. The second method, clap method. Say the word and clap your hands together. Each time you will hear vowel sound, the number of claps is the number of the syllables. So, encyclopedia. One more time. Encyclopedia. The number of claps is the number of syllables. Encyclopedia. We have one more method which is called pause method. Say the word slowly and make a brief pause after each vowel sound. The number of pauses is the number of syllables. In, pause, sigh, pause, clo, pause, p, pause, d, pause, yeah. So the number of pauses in the number of syllables. This means we have three different ways through which we can figure out how many syllables a word has. A chin method, كلاب method, those method. Using parts of speech to predict stress. Expert. Two-syllable nouns often, but not always, have the stress on the first syllable. So here, expert. What is said about nouns is also valid for other parts of speech, meaning adjectives, prepositions, adverbs, and so on. So here, expert. To forget. Verbs with two syllables, often but not always, have the stress on the second syllable. So here, forget, begin, become. 3. Present but present. Again, present. Here, present. 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 Stress nouns and adjectives on the first syllable, pre, and verbs on the second syllable, present. So here, present, and here, present. 4. Bedroom, school bus. Bedroom, school bus. Stress compound nouns on the first syllable. 5. She's a dropout. She's a dropout. She's dropped out. She's a dropout. She dropped out. She's a dropout. She dropped out. Stress two word verbs on the second word, but for their noun equivalent, stress them on the first part. Here is a noun, so we stressed the first part. We said drop out. But here it's a equivalent as a verb, so we said dropped out. One more example. Here's the printout. Here's the printout. It's a noun. He printed out. He printed out. So here's the printout. He printed out. One more example. There was a hold-up. There was a hold-up at the bank. Hold up. Hold up your hand. One more time. There was a hold-up at the bank. So there was a hold-up at the bank. Hold up your hand. Using syllable strands to predict stress. We have two different types of vowels in terms of syllable stress. Strong vowels and weak vowels. Strong vowels are long vowel, degree, diphthong, deicide, vowel plus one consonant, hotels, vowel plus two consonants in a tent. Weak vowels, schwa, away, any vowel plus final R. Seller in British accent and seller in American accent. So here, any vowel plus final R. Acta, perhaps. Dotetai, dressy or react. English or enjoy, begin. Influence. Particular. 7 syllabic consonants. Widen. We have M, N, L, R. They are all syllabic consonants. We stress the strong syllable. We stress the strong syllable. We stress the strong syllable. What is meant by a strong syllable? The syllable containing a strong vowel. We never stress the weak syllable. What is meant by weak syllable? The syllable containing a short vowel. Shua, shua, no. All these from 1 to 6 are called short vowel syllables. So we never stress the weak syllable. The weak syllable, the syllable containing a short vowel from 1 to 6 or syllabic consonants. Okay, for example, here we are going to demonstrate some examples in terms of strong vowels. Receive, receive, long vowel. Basic, diphthong. Upset, vowel plus 1 consonant. Depend, vowel plus 2 consonants. Here it's not only limited to 2 word syllables, no, it can safely be applied to 3 word syllables. For example, represent. Here, zent is stressed because it has 2 consonant sounds like depend. Here, for example, of weak syllables, enter, product, cinema. Here, the stressed syllable, which is here N and pro and sin. By the way, we stress the vowels, not the consonants. So, N, pro, sin, the stressed syllable is adjacent to a weak syllable. A weak syllable, the syllable containing a short vowel or a syllabic consonant. Using suffixes to predict stress. We have 4 major types of suffixes having to do with the stress placement. Self-stressed suffixes, they are also called auto-stressed suffixes. They take the primary stress themselves, like cigarette. We have stressing the word on the penultimate syllable, which means the second from end, like topic. stressing on anti-penultimate syllable, which means the third from end, like regulate. We have neutral suffixes. They don't affect stress placement, like enjoyable. As for stressing the word on penultimate syllable, which means the second from end, we have three major types of the suffixes stressing the word on the penultimate syllable. Suffixes starting with a vowel, like A, E, I, O, U. For example, material, here we have I, A, O. Mechanic, we have I, C. Demolish, we have I, S, H. Civilian, we have I, A, N. Continual, we have U, A, L. The second type is suffixes starting with sh, ch, j. Reception, here we have T-I-O-N, sh sound. Ancient, C-I-E-N-T. Decision, ch, ch. Adventure, ch. Religious. Generally speaking, the syllable that comes before a suffix starting with sh, ch, ch, ch is primarily stressed. Suffixes starting with a consonant, like technology, we have L-O-G-Y. Photography, we have G-R-A-P-H-Y. Kilometer, M-E-T-E-R. Self-stressed suffixes, auto-stressed suffixes, stress-carrying suffixes. These suffixes carry the stress themselves, so they are suffixes carrying stress themselves. Before tackling today's lesson, two key notes. The suffix starting with a vowel, suffix starting with a vowel. For example, like EE borrows the last consonant of the final syllable. The last consonant of the final syllable. And forms together a consonant cluster. So the stress falls on the consonant plus the suffix that starts with a vowel. Not the suffix that starts with the vowel only. No, it falls on the last consonant sound of the final syllable plus the suffix that starts with the vowel. For example, refugee. Here, the EE takes the primary stress. So it's not refuge E. It's not refuge E. It's refugee. So here, the suffix that starts with a vowel sound has taken the last consonant sound of the last or the final consonant and forms together what is called a consonant cluster. So it's not refuge E, it's refugee. Number two, the secondary stress goes under the syllable preceding the primary stressed syllable by 2. So here, ref is a secondary stressed syllable. So let's talk about the suffixes carrying stress themselves. In, entertain, so 4 verbs only. Refugee, volunteer, Japanese, ETT, cigarette, ESQUE, picturesque, IQUE, eek, technique, ADE, lemonade, OON, palone, OO, shampoo, AIRE, million, look here. AIRE is a suffix starting with a vowel sound. So it's not millionaire. So the suffix starting with a vowel sound takes the last consonant sound of the final syllable, which is in, and has the primary stress fully on this consonant cluster. So it's not millionaire, it's millionaire. Now, personnel. What goes for this can safely go for this. It's not person ill, it's personnel. 17, self, herself, Asian, donation. SCE or ISCE, reminisce, convalesce, acquiesce. Suffixes attracting the primary stress to the penultimate syllable. What is meant by penultimate syllable? The syllable before the suffix. In other words, the second to the end. These suffixes are mainly divided into 3 major types. The first of which is suffixes starting with a vowel. 2 suffixes starting with sh, ch, ch, ch. Number 3 suffixes starting with a consonant. So let's get started with the suffixes starting with a vowel. For A, we have elemental, AL, or elementary, ARY. Demonstrative, ATIVE, or demonstrable, ABLE. For E, we have spontaneous, T, spontaneous, we have EOUS. Delivery, ERY. Society, ETY. For I, we have ick, equal. So topic, tropics, tropical. ISH, finish. IAL, proverbial. ITY, ability. IVE, reflexive. For O, we have S, we have OSIS, so diagnosis. For U, we have OUS, continuous. We have UAL, continual. We have UAN, continuant. For the suffixes starting with sh, generally speaking, if we have C plus vowel, C is pronounced ch. If we have T followed by a vowel, T is pronounced sh. If we have SC followed by a vowel, in that case, this cluster is pronounced sh. A special, reception, delicious, patient. So we have CIEL, shul, TION. Here I'd like to clarify a very important piece of information. We have invent. The second syllable is stressed because, as we have already mentioned before, the syllable that ends in two consonants is a heavy syllable, so it's stressed. In that case, we add ION, not TION. So we have receptionist, or we have reception. Extension. Shan here, TION. But for invent, yes, here we have T. So we added ION. ION in that case is pronounced shan. So invention and receptionist, or reception. For J, we have decision. Visual, we have SION. We have visual, UAL. Picture, punctual, it's ch sound. For the J, courageous, courageous, individual. Generally speaking, if D is followed by U, D is pronounced J. Similarly, if T is followed by U, it's pronounced Ch, as punctual. Here, religious. Number 3, suffixes starting with a consonant. Graphy, photography, logy, technology, meter, parameter, like kilometer. Tone, so oriental. Suffixes attracting the primary stress to the anti-penultimate syllable. What is meant by the anti-penultimate syllable? 2 syllables before the suffix. That is, 2 syllables before the suffix. In other words, the third to the end. Indicate, indicate, it's a verb. Certificate, it's a noun. Here we have locate, but allocate. Emphasize, emphasize, analyze. Here, lies in American accent, lies in British one. Analysis, emphasis. Photographer, photographer, ER. Processor, processor, not processor. Processor, OR. Identify, FY or IFY. Activity, TY. Democracy, CY. Apology, GY. Photography, PHY. Vocabulary, ARY. solitude or solitude, T-U-D-E, original, original, A-L, like optimal. Not registry, registry, R-Y, registry. Generally speaking, if the syllable ends in Y, the anti-penultimate syllable is stressed. It's a rule. So generally speaking, if the word ends in Y, the anti-penultimate syllable more often is stressed. So here we have final Y. Registry, not registry. Registry. Directory. Deputy. Investigator. Investigator. We have A-T-O-R. Like accelerator. Category. O-R-Y. Not category. Category. Intimacy. A-C-Y. Testimony. O-N-Y. Acetylene. Acetylene. E-N-E. Y here is Ashwa, and A here is also Shwa. So sit here is a heavy syllable because it's the anti-penultimate for in. Yes, I quite know it's abnormal to short vowel sound to be heavy syllable. But here, according to the final E-N-E, it became a heavy syllable, governed by E-N-E. Pagon, G-O-N, and academy. So generally speaking, anti-penultimate syllable means two syllables before the suffix or the third to the end. Two syllables before the suffix. Also, generally speaking, when a word ends in Y, the anti-penultimate syllable is stressed. Neutral suffixes. What is meant by neutral suffixes? Suffixes that don't affect the stress placement within a word. Suffixes that don't affect the stress placement within a word. They are of two major types. Suffixes starting with a vowel and suffixes starting with a consonant. Let's get started with suffixes starting with a vowel. Apple, dependable. Edge, orphanage. All, refusal. In, widen. Opening. Ish, devilish. Here, ish is added to an adjective, so devilish. But once added to a verb, the penultimate syllable is stressed, so demolish. As dangerous. Id, invented. Est, journalist. Ism, terrorism. Earn, western. Developer. Ans, difference. Ans, utterance. Indifferent. As for the suffixes starting with a consonant, full, wonderful, less, powerless, rapidly, meant, development, ness, tenderness, glorify, wise, otherwise. Y is added to adjective and noun. So funny, dumb, martyrdom, ship, sponsorship, some, adventuresome, hood, brotherhood. But we have some exceptions. Admire in the base form, but here admirable. Advertise, but here advertisement. Refer, but reference. Prefer, but preferable. Reside, but resident. Stress in two-syllable words. For the most part, the stress in two-syllable words is on the syllable of the original word. For example, artist comes originally from art. Similarly, remove comes originally from move. Now, let's learn more about the two-syllable verbs where the stress rules. Receive. The second syllable has a long vowel. Decide. The second syllable has a diphthong. Depend. The second syllable ends in two consonants. The syllable that contains a long vowel or diphthong or ends in two consonants is called a strong or heavy syllable. Strong or heavy syllable because it has a long vowel or diphthong or ends in two consonants. Consequently, the strong or heavy syllable is stressed. Enter, cancel, copy. The second syllable, ER, syllabic L. Yeah? The second syllable contains a short vowel. The syllable that contains a short vowel is called a weak syllable or light syllable. Naturally, the light syllable is unstressed because it contains, generally speaking, short vowel sound. Follow. The second syllable contains diphthong O. Babysit, withhold. In compound single word verb like babysit or withhold, the stress falls on the syllable containing a long vowel or diphthong. Otherwise, on the stem, like over book. Book here is the stem. The cough, take off. Cough, stress falls on the preposition in phrasal verbs. So, the cough is a phrasal verb and the preposition is stressed. But on the verb when used as a noun form. So, take off. Finish. Before ish. That is on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate syllable, the second syllable from end. Treat. The second part, which is treat, in the compound verb is stressed. Two-syllable nouns. Expert. It's a noun. Although the second syllable contains a long vowel, which is it's on asterisk because it's a noun. What is said about nouns is also valid for other parts of speech, meaning adjectives, adverbs, or prepositions. Machine. The second syllable contains a long vowel. Design. The second syllable contains a diphthong. Intent. The second syllable ends into consonants. Product. The second syllable contains a short vowel. It's a weak or light syllable. Window. The second syllable contains the diphthong O. Topic. Stress on the second from end syllable, which is the penultimate syllable, like nation, vision, special, patient, conscious. Balloon. Stress falls on the self-stressed suffixes like decade, career, 15, cassette, shampoo. Present or present. Present is a noun, an adjective, but present is a verb. Two-syllable heteronyms. Heteronyms, words having the same spellings but two different pronunciations. Bedroom, school bus. The first part in compound nouns is stressed.